Hello. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the year I left the church. I left the church in the summer of 2002. Um, I grew up, I was baptized Catholic. My family were basically not, I didn't grow up very religious, going to Mass on Christmas and Easter. And then I entered Boy Scouts, and they needed a scout chaplain, and I became one and started reading the Bible and started going to church. And I was a regular mass goer and a regular church goer through my young adult life. And I was confirmed when I was 14. But when the sex scandal broke in 2002, I couldn't believe how religious people that you looked up to, would basically look the other way at abusing the least of God's children. And once I looked at that, I looked at other things of the Catholic Church, and the more I looked and the more I looked, it was like unpeeling an onion. And I was discouraged, and I left the faith. I basically had nothing to do with God, except for when I was on an airplane, for another 6 years, until God entered my heart and led me to a Presbyterian church. So I'm making this video as a lot of the things in the Catholic Church have been in the news of late. There was a Philadelphia trial of Monsignor William Lynn, a former secretary of the clergy of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. And there was evidence that was brought to him that there was sexual abuse of children in this diocese. And allegedly, when Cardinal, let's see, how am I going to pronounce, I'm not going to pronounce this name, Anthony Bellacoria, a fierce traditionalist canonist lawyer, ordered the list destroyed. Nothing was done, and the priests remained in their posts. Now, his defense is basically that he was a low man on the totem pole. Basically, he was doing what he was told. He could face 10 to 21 years. How can you do that and consider yourself a son of God? Ephesians 5:11 have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. The Catholic Church is no longer a Christian organization. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are many Catholics who are doing God's will and are good Christians. A lot of the lay Catholics are, but the hierarchy has to go. There's no biblical basis for the hierarchy. The hierarchy serves itself. And basically, it is basically a cult. Not the Catholic Church, but the hierarchy of bishops and cardinals and the Pope. It's a cult. Basically, it's insular. It serves itself. And so I really believe the hierarchy has to go. The hierarchy is a medieval relic. And the Catholic Church leadership, I'm talking about the Vatican here, was more about maintaining wealth and political power than it was about serving the flock. I mean, just look at this other scandal, this banking scandal and these VATA leaks. that the butler was arrested for delivering leaks that talk about the inner workings of the Vatican. Now, I don't know if this butler did this, but if the butler did this, he is a true Christian. Exposing hypocrisy, exposing the inner workings of a corrupt system. Why does the Vatican need its own bank? I mean, for a church that is supposed to be humble, that is supposed to serve and isn't supposed to be like the foolish rich man, why does it need a bank? And even if you could say the Vatican needs a bank because of all its wealth, its castles, its artwork, etc., why does it need to be immune from every regulation? One of the responses that these monsignors and bishops do is because they were just following orders. That basically the Cardinals and the Pope basically had the final say-so. I mean, people say that, and the thing is, a couple lawyers for victims wanted to actually bring the Pope to testify, but he couldn't because he was a head of state, thus having diplomatic immunity. A religious leader should not be a head of state. A religious leader should not be above the law. And a lot of people say that a lot of this happened under Pope John Paul's watch, and that Pope Benedict was trying to do more for it. But if he was trying to do more for it, he would basically say, these people deserve to be punished. These people deserve to go to jail for allowing these pedophile priests to continue. But what are they doing? Are they attacking? Are they fighting for justice here? No, they're fighting nuns because nuns believe that the Catholic Church is too insular. And, I mean, yes, they're breaking doctrine with birth control, gay marriage, etc. But when you are systematically corrupt, when you systematically have problems that you have to heal, and you attack Catholic nuns? Again, this video is not about day-to-day Catholics. I mean, there are Catholics who subscribe to my videos. And, I mean, I believe that the Catholic teaching on social justice is better than the teaching on social justice of conservative Protestants. But still, the Catholic Church has way too much money. It doesn't need that. The Catholic Church, the hierarchy, mind you, is a relic of medieval Europe. And there needs to be another Reformation. I mean, Martin Luther knew about this corruption. And he spoke against this corruption as well as doctrinal errors. Like, i.e., we do not need a priest as an intermediate between us and Jesus. We do not. And I mean, they add rules that have nothing to do with biblical truth. Anyway, I just seeing these news things, I wanted to make a video. And if you're a Catholic, please respond. Please respond about why the Vatican needs a bank, why the Vatican needs to be its own country, why the Vatican, in my opinion, is not worldly. Again, I have friends who are Catholics. I believe they should speak out against the hierarchy. I believe they should speak out against the bishops, the cardinals. They should speak out against the Pope even. It is not a sin to question a priest. It is not a sin to question a bishop. It's not a sin to question a cardinal. It's not even a sin to question the Pope. He's a shepherd. He doesn't have any more special connection to God than any of us else do. He's not infallible. Anyway, I just want to make this video. God bless.